The truth is, the far left has become a cult. We're gonna get deep in this video, guys. So if you're gay, grab your tea. If you're straight, grab some popcorn. I don't know what straight people do. Do you remember about 15, 20 years ago, Green Day made a song called American Idiot? Do you remember the lines? Don't wanna be an American idiot. Don't want a nation under the new media. And can you hear the sound of hysteria? The subliminal mind, America. Green Day knew 15 years ago. They knew this was happening. And people these days are still falling for it. To be specific, a cult is a group of people that is defined by its religious or philosophical beliefs or a common interest or goal. But it's extremely important to remember that not everybody joins a cult, or probably most people don't join a cult willingly. The types of people who run said cults are destructive, toxic, manipulative, and they prey on the vulnerable. People with learning disorders, with autism, people who need to feel validated constantly. In fact, the people that display these distinct personality types are the most likely to join a cult. Those who want to feel validated, which is about 95% of the left at this point. I mean, we literally have articles about trans women breastfeeding. It's a real thing that's happening. Those who are seeking an identity. 100 new genders and sexual orientations daily. Spot on so far. When you feel like you don't have an identity, you will latch onto any movement that you feel will be inclusive to you. But before I dive any deeper into this topic, I just want to say a big thank you to our sponsor for today's video, Eve's Toys. They have been sponsoring this channel for over 7 years, and they have always made us feel included. Eve's Toys was created to empower and inspire women through their sexuality. They have 24-hour customer service, they have discreet packaging, and amazingly, 20% of their profits go to the prevention of HIV around the world. Please go and support companies that support this channel and support bettering the world as a whole. You can go to evestoys.com and use my code Ariel5 for 50% off almost any one item on the entire website, and free shipping on orders over $20 in the United States. Of course, certain exclusions apply. Okay, back to the video. Remember, people who are lacking an identity need somebody to teach them how to live, how to be, how to think. And the cult helps you decide all of those things. Number 3, those who are followers and not leaders. This is what everyone on the right or the middle mean when we say that no one on the far left are free thinkers. They are simply followers. They are not leaders. They don't ever think for themselves, and if they did, they would be kicked out of the cults. Those who constantly blame others. We see this over and over and over again with progressives and the far left. In other words, you know, people that have no responsibility and no personal accountability for their actions and personal life choices. You know, like the people that blame the unvaccinated for the economy issues, or those who blame Trump for literally everything, even though he hasn't been in office for over a year and a half now. It's important to note that blaming in itself is not cultist. It's actually about how it's delivered and why it's delivered. And it's done for a very specific reason. It keeps the members occupied. It makes them have a common enemy so they don't stray and start thinking for themselves. Again, people want to be a part of a community. This isn't rocket science. The Independency threatens the group if the group is aiming to control those who are always angry. Need I say more? Those who have very low self-esteem. Yeah, that's another one. I think we see the lack of self-worth being obvious when the left says things like, Dave Chappelle is punching down on trans people. But the thing is, wouldn't punching down means that they themselves see themselves as being lower than or being less than other people? When you don't know who you are or believe in a higher purpose, you tend to ask yourself things like, why am I here? What am I doing? What do I offer to the world? Barry Weiss said it perfectly when she was on Ben Shapiro a few weeks ago. They were talking about leftists and why wokeism is so popular, and she said this.
I believe that the surge of this, and the reason especially that so many young people are drawn to it, is crisis of meaning and the death of God in this country. Like, I just really believe that people are searching for some moral purpose to their life, the sense of being part of a coalition of the righteous, sense of being on the right side of history.
I've spoken about this before, but I wanted to include this clip because I think she said this better than I have. As you guys know, I am very spiritual. I am not religious. I do believe in a higher power, in a higher being that connects us all, so to speak. I believe in souls, in energy, in life lessons, and honestly, it wasn't until I found that deeper meaning that I was able to live a fuller, more calm life. That's just the truth.
All of the things that we used to get from other structures that, because of, you know, Let's be honest. Like many of the fallouts of things like globalization and tech and the rest, you know, that are so much bigger than we have time for in this conversation, have led people sort of grasping for meaning.
Wow, okay, leaves people searching for meaning. This could not be more true. Because many of these leftists, in fact, do treat their beliefs like a religion. And many religions are intense, very much cult-like. You have to remember, for them, it's a way of life. Many religions do see others that aren't like them as needing to be saved. And some of them see themselves as the chosen people, the chosen one. With many extreme leftists, this winds up being a case of moral superiority. Think about it, when your entire identity revolves around being a savior or seeing yourself as morally superior to everybody else, of course it's going to destroy you when somebody else doesn't validate you or validate your opinions. Also, you ever notice how the far left is mainly comprised of women? It's not an accident. Women are also way more likely to be indoctrinated and recruited into a cult. Look at how many more women are claiming to be for Black Lives Matter or vaccine mandates compared to men. Remember, women are usually more likely to suffer from self-esteem issues. Thus, they're more likely to be on the hunt for a higher purpose, a deeper meaning. Thus, more likely to be indoctrinated by these groups.
I don't think the reason that people are drawn to this ideology in our generation and younger is because they're stupid. I really think it's, you know, I think it's because it sort of lights their soul on fire in a real way. And it sort of reminds me of just like any religious revival movement at the beginning, which is like, it lights your soul on fire and then you want to go light other people on fire.
Yeah, no, I don't think there's a mutually exclusive explanations at all. I mean,
so now that it's very obvious the types of people that cults tend to be comprised of, how can we prove that the far left is one? I got you covered. Been writing this video for quite a while now. The major criteria of cults. Ready for this? Here we go. They mesmerize you with their repetitive and loaded language and rituals. Remember all the repeat after us, trans women are women things that were going around lately? Yeah. They consistently change the meaning of words. They encourage uniforms, and yes, that does include, you know, hair colors and such, and bad haircuts, honestly. They constantly guilt trip you. Any attempt to dissociate from the organization or disagreement is met with violence. Friendships and relationships are threatened to be lost. They love bomb you all the time. They love bomb you. They isolate you from friends and family. I mean, look at all these videos of people that, you know, that harassed me after I left the cult. Needing permission from the organization to get married, have children, even associate with others. Remember what Ellen DeGeneres got a ton of shit just for simply hanging out at a football game with George Bush? Or how people on Twitter now have to say that following doesn't equal endorsement. Because people go absolutely nuts when you follow someone that they all disagree with. Or how you're only allowed to talk about Black issues or women's issues or trans issues if you are those things. The group considers itself as elite and they demand your purity.
It's like these kids on the campuses who are claiming identity with the oppressed, you know, at somewhere like Yale. It's like, how in the world you can speak of oppression if you happen to be at Yale is beyond me. I mean, first of all, you're North American, which puts you in the top 1%. And then of North Americans, you're in the top 1%. So you're in the top 1% of 1%. But yet you want that. You want to have all the power that goes along with that. And you want to have the moral superiority that comes from being a representative of the oppressed. So that's exactly what you want. You want all the power and you want all the victimization at the same time.
They control what is true and what is false. Hello, fact checking. They don't tolerate critical inquiry. And you're never allowed to question any beliefs. You simply have to go along with anything that they deem appropriate that goes along with their narrative or their cause. They fearmonger. And remember, fear is the foundation of most governments. This was a quote by John Adams a very long time ago. Think about all the things the people in power as of late have said to Democrats and progressives in order to keep them afraid of what might happen. They want to put y'all back in chains. They literally want to kill you. They want you dead. He's a white supremacist. And never forget, they deny the existence of members who left the cult. When I finally left the left in, what was it, 2020? A ton of people started making videos saying, you know what? She was never really on the left anyway. She was never a part of this. She was never with us. Girl, I see right through that now. I'm over it. I think this is one of the most important videos I've ever made, so if you have a second, please go and click the like button down below and share it. Super, super important information here, and go and check and subscribe if you haven't already. Also go and check out our sponsor, Eve's Toys. They have been sponsoring us for years. Love them. And other than that, I'll see you guys back here on this channel in a few days with a brand new video. Until then, I love you, love yourselves. Stop being afraid to speak out against this indoctrination and these terrible, terrible cultists. I will see you guys in a few days with a brand new video. Bye.